Hey, welcome everyone to SLQ Live virtual event, the second edition. But today we're focusing on testing Oracle Cloud apps. We have Uday up next. He talks about real world experience as a automation engineer, actually doing automation. I don't think there's a demo piece to it, but if you stay to the end, Gilji will actually do a demo as well. So for everyone that's looking for a demo, you want to hang in all the way to the end. So definitely sit back, relax, and enjoy the next session.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. This is Uday. I'm from Capgemini. I'm having total 20 years of experience in Oracle, e-business suite, as well as in cloud. I'm currently working as an architect in Capgemini, managing Oracle Cloud testing suite of application, okay, as well as managing other product portfolio where I'm like defining go-to-market strategy and working with practice leadership to help them and help customers to go on the accelerators and rapid environment and development. So yeah, that's my short introduction. Okay, so let me move on to the next slide. So today I've got an opportunity to present myself, in partnership with SLQ, to provide and list down the challenges, whatever we facing in Oracle world. It's pre-SLQ, and then how is our life in post-SLQ. So today I'm gonna brief you about some of the challenges which we face in managing our Oracle testing suite or testing cloud applications, in Capgemini. So there are laundry list of challenges. So we have picked, few of the challenges which probably like help everyone here to understand what we are talking about. And these challenges are very important challenges because this actually defines our go-to-market strategy as well as the hindrance in cloud development, which been reported by customers across multiple sectors as well. So basically, what we found is right. Oracle actually upgrades their quarterly patches very frequently. So like every quarter, we receive a new patch and new upgrade version, and it's like a global upgrade. So it impacts all the models. So these quarterly patches has very short duration. So whenever we get ready for the another for the one patch for all your regression testing, the another patch is like on your doorway. So depend on the choices, like customers go for a monthly patch, quarterly patch, but then there's a big challenge to maintain this patch with correct application functionality, and it needs a lot of validation and testing. So that's a big challenge, and we are looking at some accelerators and accelerators or applications which can help. And I think SLQ has really helped us a lot. Okay, so we'll see it in consecutive slides post SLQ, like how you overcome these challenges. So another thing is right, that execution cycle, Oracle needs it very it's very demanding. The reason is like it involves multiple business process and multiple validation cycles such as UAT, SIT, integration testing, right? And that's for multiple waves, right? So it's not like one big bang implementation. It's like a multiple iteration of your implementation. So that's the execution cycle. So it needs a frequent execution of your scripts. Okay, so we are like, it's a big challenge that you have to execute the same scripts again and again. You have to perform regression testing, and you have to ensure that all your patches and the regression is thorough. So that's another challenge. Okay, and that's like very profound for Oracle cloud applications. Another challenge what we saw is like integration, because Oracle like customers depends on their legacy applications and other third party applications, banks and financial institutes. So there is a lot of integration Oracle Cloud works with, and then there's a challenge of in performing integration testing and thoroughly test all your integrations right before you move or exit your SIT or UAT. So that's very critical, and that's one of the big challenge what we face. Because of integration, right? So we totally rely on the REST APIs, web services, as well as CSV file import export functionality, right? File load and all. So these are all things, right? Actually multiplies our challenges, and gives us a tough time, right? That all your SOAP APIs and REST APIs are thoroughly to be validated, because there are so many situations that all your third party may not be ready, but your SOAP API development team keeps up to the mark. So you have to keep it validated, and patch can again change the signature. So so testing the SOAP API, uh, it's a big challenge. Okay, and really SLQ helps us a lot. Okay, we'll see it in detail. Okay, so quickly move to the next slide. Okay, since like everything is in agile fashion, cloud is not exception to it. So what happens is like agile due to agile demand. Sorry, due to agile demand, we expect like our testing is also agile. Okay, so we basically need something which manages our testing entire development in agile fashion. So that's a like a times demand, it's a clouds demand, and it's a agile demand. So it's like one of the challenge. Okay, uh, then since cloud ERP is totally all the business processes, like it takes profit to pay, record to report, projects to profit. So if you compare, so like everything from finance to supply chain and HRMS, like human resource management, so everything is business process, and customer would like to actually test or validate their production scenarios with their business process. Okay, so they give more focuses on business process. So we need something where a testing suite can give you the end-to-end business process flow. And since it's a heavily business demand, we wanted to capture the scenarios and scripts and the entire flow in the business fashion way, where customers demands or customers needs it. Okay. Then that brings a reusability factor, because you're frequently connecting with common application modules or common functionality, or there are centralized applications which connects to all other applications. So there's a reusability factor a lot, right? Because you will end up in performing same testing again and again. Okay, and we need that end-to-end testing to be completed. So that's one of the big challenge, that we need reusability, so that we can quickly develop the scripts on top of it, and not to like start from a scratch. So that's what the big challenge, to get our reusability and increase our go-to-market footprints also. Okay, so yeah, that's another challenge. I believe like one more challenge we face is like, since it's all different kinds of module. Okay, and all the user base try to perform a testing at the same time, and there is a big bang approach, and there is a wave by approach, a phase by approach, right? So all your modules need to be tested before you exit from one phase to another phase. And that brings a challenge that all the parallel testing is very important, because uh, in cloud and the agile world, where the timelines are get shrink, right? Your testing is also get shrink. So we need some dynamic accelerators who can perform parallel testing in really quick time, in an actual agile way. All right. So let's discuss our life pre-SLQ era. Okay, and it was tough life, definitely tough life. So we just try to portray some of the artifacts and some of the pointers which actually gives you a highlight, like what all the issues pre-SLQ era we were like facing. So in tech debt, okay, because of all the things, right, challenges which I described earlier, right? So specifically reusability factor, okay, where like we're not able to reuse our scripts. Okay, to one extent it was reusable, but for to the mass extent where the customers demand, it was very difficult to reuse the scripts. Okay, another thing is like execution cycles are very short, but our execution cycles are very long. And it was a very difficult to manage the executions parallelly, okay, with dependency of modules. Okay, so these like cumulative added effect, okay, in order to like define a go-to-market strategy, and actually align our go-to-market strategy rapidly with customers adaptive change. Okay, and like the way technology was actually um, rapidly moving, we were like trying to catch up, okay, in the testing phase. That's what the major challenge is, like, and time to get market with uh, this such kind of sluggish testing and a lack of good features, so which were making our tech debt very high. Okay. The maintenance, I believe, like there was a big issue is like managing our quarterly patches, because there's so much of frequent patches, so much of changes, so we have to actually adapt and make our scripts, okay, uh, to manually go and modify our scripts and maintain it with very high cost, okay, because you have to put resources on that. The resources need to be trained. Your quarterly patches need to be catch up properly. Your scripts to be aligned. You have to version your quarterly patches because of your backport. Then all your script should work on the backport and opt-in opt-out features based on the customer to customer. So that's one of the biggest challenge in maintaining those scripts. Okay. So again, that leads us to fulfill customers demand in the accelerated environment, and that's delays our go-to-market strategy, as well as like catching up with other competitors. So yeah, that was like very tough pre SLQ era, and reporting was like one of the big challenge and big issues we face. So for example, like there were like executive reports which we wanted, okay, and the tool has a limitation capability which we were using it, okay. So there are different kind of power users, okay. We need analysis of our defects and test cases. So these were like little bit quite lacking, okay, in pre-ACCELQ era and world. So we really wanted the reporting to be like out of box, should give full-fledged other dimensions. So not getting it is one of the key issues we face. Okay. Again, I spoke about, at the time of challenges, we are aligned with agile development fashion. Okay. And our all implementations are agile based. Customer expects the scripts creation in the agile fashion mode. So and customer expects that all your testing management should be automatically, or at least fully integrated with the agile development tools such as Jira and Rally. So that was another challenge, because like the user stories being developed in silos, and then those user stories gets loaded and be used for creation of our scripts. And much of the time the user story criteria and the requirements, these got changes, so then it aligns. So these are like a big challenge in the reporting and the synchronization process. These are the lack of capabilities of our testing PSCQ, which was like majorly impacting the delivery. Okay. The absence of integration and CI/CD were like always there. Okay, and thank you for that. SLQ actually brings and help us to close that gap. Resources is another key challenge in every delivery, because when we plan our functional, technical, and testing resources, and that's a part of a QA team separately. So for like pre-SLQ era, like our test agents, you can say, or the testing resources need to be thoroughly skilled on the particular platform. They should understand the business, okay, and then they should align with customers' processes and get the customer environment and completely tuned, with the test scripts development and test deployment and the test cases changes. So there's a steep learning curve. Like if resources leaves in between, okay, it's getting another resources on board and then train it thoroughly and get up to the speed was really difficult challenge. Okay, and then getting that particular skill resource on the particular platform has understanding of the coding, and help is in building the script is totally resource dependent and not process dependent. So there's a like a heavy dependency with resource. The resources must learn coding, okay, and then there's a total dependency in overall timeline and delivery of the project. Okay, because without QA you cannot move forward. So that's a key challenge pre-SLQ world we are facing. Release and alignment. I think I spoke about it, a couple of times before during when I was explaining about the challenges. So that's a very critical stage, okay, of the project when you go live, and then there are quarterly releases you have to catch up, and you have to maintain, all your scripts to up to the exact or current release pack. Okay, whatever Oracle develop. So maintaining that release alignment, your scripts, performing a regression testing, okay, performing a thorough validation testing during that such a short span of time. So that was a big challenge, specifically on the Oracle Cloud world. Okay, and for instance, like when Oracle brings a UI updates, right? So that's like a major changes, user interface changes, where like the functionality gets changed, and then that testing need to be uh, thoroughly conducted. So these are the, like, a big challenge we face. So okay, so here is a very good part of post SLQ life, okay, which we are really happy after getting SLQ onboarded. And we have used SLQ, quite extensively internally as well as with client, and we really found it has really helped us life improve a lot. Okay, so few of the snippets I'm trying to walk through all of you so that we'll understand like what the message I'm trying to give over here. Okay, so basically, like I describe all the challenges and the issues which we were facing, pre-SLQ life. Okay, these actually, most of these issues have overcome when we got SLQ onboarded. Okay, so the major thing is what we found is like our delivery cycle has improved a lot. Okay, the testing coverage has improved a lot. Okay, we were able to manage our parallel testing, so our test execution cycles have improved a lot. Okay, and then the reusability factor really improved a lot. The best feature what I found about the SLQ is no coding platform. So the resources are like simply, they can just take a screenshot and then start creating the scripts in the background. Okay, so they can align the scripts. Mainly, most of the elements, the components, or the parts, okay, of scripts are reusable. So you can bundle it within a module. You can bundle it within the phases and processes, and you can reuse it. Okay, so for instance, like common functionality scripts, scheduling processes, reviewing reports, running jobs, so all those things, right? So these are can be bundled, reused quite like very frequently in all your models. So overall, if you look at, right, so that gives us a very good strength in delivery, and our delivery cycles improves, and that builds our confidence, and that helps us in catching with competitors, like being ahead from the competitors, and getting go to market strategy well in time, and connecting with the customers and demoing them, the bright features, and helping customers to plan their journey and get on board. So yeah, that's overall, like very speedy delivery. I want to like go in a little deep, like if you look at maintenance, as I already explained, the cost has reduced because there is no more resource dependencies. Again, the quarterly patches, because of reusability, your scripts are intact. That there is a traceability you are managing using SLQ platform. That if there are changes in a script, it highlights in their entire universe where all the changes are it's impacted. So it's easy to trace and identify the changes. Okay, so you can go and then make the changes and fix that entire flow at the same time, because you're making the changes all throughout the script. So the traceability is improved a lot, and that helps us bring transparency in delivering our scripts and getting aligned with our quarterly patches or frequent changes, because cloud is like continuous change environment where requirements are changed, where new patches, new opt-in features comes up, UI changes. So all these changes, right? SLQ was like adapting it very smartly, and then we help, like it was a total help for us to be a delivery ready, as well as help in hypercare and post hypercare support also. So maintenance has really reduced a lot. Mm. Oracle alignment, I think I spoke about it. Okay, because all your real-time changes, okay, all your real-time patches are now aligned, and your scripts are like completely because of no coding platform. It's like almost real-time. We are able to get the changes done, quickly perform the validation and the regression testing, and get our scripts moved from one environment to other environment. That environment shift is so easy that just like connect to the new URL and you know just point to the new environment and get your scripts ready with the easy way to upload your data, okay, a test data. So that management is really very good, provided by SLQ, and that really aligns with Oracle, because of the no coding, or you can say pre-built codeless test assets. Okay. I already spoke about no coding skills, which really improves resource confidence. It helps them, focus more on business process changes, business process alignment. Okay, with SLQ, performing the test development in agile fashion, managing the test script. So the resources are like, rather than focusing on coding, they're like focusing on the value add and the improvements. And there's obvious less time in getting resources prepared because they quickly get adapt. SLQ has a university which helps us like already pre-built contents and documentation help is really helpful in getting resources, new resources on board, and getting aligned with uh, the project development team, okay, and the testing team. I already spoke about this alignment with business processes, since cloud ERP is totally business process oriented application. Okay, so it's all interdependent processes and modules connecting with each other, commonly used functionalities which is getting reused. Okay, so the heavy dependencies on the usability factor, and SLQ helps really very good. SLQ Universe really helps in identifying the traceability and align with the business process. So customers are much confident that they can, instead of like testing the scripts for a module, they can test their entire script from your inception to end. So all like from procurement to purchasing to payments, right? So all the scenarios are properly proved, identified, bundled, and trust. Okay, under the SLQ universe. Okay, from the alignment perspective. So yeah, you can run the reports based on your test business process business process streams, and you get those validation quickly reported, okay, and progress managed accordingly. So that really helps. Okay, I already spoke about traceability, but reporting I really like a good dashboards, which SLQ provides as a pre-built dashboards of in-house dashboard, which helps not only the function user but the power users, the integration leads, okay, as well as CFOs and the executives really getting help from all these dashboards to have 360-degree of view of the test development process, the test execution progress, the test management progress. So this is really on a fingertips, and provides art, a really artistic view on your reporting functionalities. Okay. Integration, it really helps because SLP goes one more step beyond, and it tries to help performing the REST APIs testing. Okay, your CI/CD are natively integrated, adapters are natively integrated, so that gives a more confidence of your user base, okay, or the developer base to perform your integration testing thoroughly, and go beyond Oracle ERP Cloud, and help other integrated applications to write the scripts and perform the end-to-end integration as well. So that's really served well. Okay. So here we go. A Capgemini partner SLQ, okay, to build the test automation suite for their cloud and e-business customers. So until now, we have really built a good amount of reusable scripts, okay, as an intellectual property with help of SLQ, and that's all pre-built scripts, or you can say is like reusable scripts, okay, helping our customers, okay, in delivery, uh, and these are like completely codeless, all right? So I already explained earlier, right? The SLQ's no coding platform help maintaining, reducing the maintenance cost, okay, and help improving the delivery factors. So, so this these below, there are some bulleted features, right? So eventually helping our customers in getting our test repository, okay, aligned with their delivery, okay, and the eventual shipping of the product, okay, from cloud as well as the business suite. So and these are like how it's being helped, right? We can quickly align the business process, okay, of customers with our SLQ universe, okay. So let's say like we have 4 or 5 branches right now configured, and customers needs 2 or 3, then we can quickly showcase those the end-to-end flows to a customer, and win customer confidence. So they are like it's completely thoroughly being completely developed in-house, and it's just a matter of releasing it on customers' environment and help them in quickly validating the test scripts. uh, Now the entire package, entire universe, right? It's completely ready to built in or plug in with automatic release alignment of Oracle. So all your new patch set, which is getting released, okay, being connected with environment indirectly with SLQ, okay, and then these scripts are getting completely revamped, validated, retested, perform regression testing in automation manner, and getting completely ready with the new patch set or the current patch set of like a cloud application, okay. And that performs end-to-end validation because SLQ maintains a really nice or very good transparency and traceability. So all your changes and the reusability factor plays a significant role in performing end-to-end validation. And then, of course, the parallel agents, the parallel execution saves a lot of time in validation cycle. Okay. So, as I already explained, that SLQ has inbuilt agile test development and management application. So the customers are like quickly get with ready to go test plans, okay, for performing their regression testing. So all their changes are completely version, okay, uh, completely version and manage under ready to go test plans, okay. Also, like customers like not limited to only the functionality testing or the out of box testing. It actually go beyond for the integration testing, performing the REST API testing. So customer ensure that they are like getting end-to-end service and manage their integrations with a legacy application, with their financial institution applications thoroughly, with completely quality assured with the help of SLQ and Capgemini Oracle Universe. It's being called as a Oracle Q Universe, the SLQ Universe. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Hey, Uday, welcome to SLQ Live.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Great real world experience. So thank you so much for that. We have a bunch of questions coming in. I guess the first one that someone asked is, let me see if I can get it on my screen here, is what's the basic meaning of no code? You know, a lot of times people talk about no code as a buzzword, but you talked about it throughout your presentation. So how real is it? How much has it really helped you with your automation?
Joe, I just like lost the your voice somehow.
Okay. So someone
Yeah,
wants to
yeah.
know,
Now I can.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear the question?
Oh no, sorry. Can you say it
Yeah.
again?
The question is, what's the basic meaning of no code, low code automation? You talked about it a lot in your session in the real world. So just curious to know to get, is it the real thing? Did it really help? Any roadblocks you may have come across using it?
Yeah. So basically, no code is the platform where you can just simply take a screenshot of your navigation, where you can see this is your navigation path. This is what your screens are. Okay, and then capture your screenshots. Uh, that screenshots will automatically capture the events. Okay, what is your navigation? What is the next step? Right? What are the input parameters you're going to add there, such as like invoice number or invoice date. I'm just giving the example, and automatically script is built, okay, behind the screens, and that really helps saving a lot of time, where you go and actually do a coding, try to identify the elements, variables, and put that in coding, put it in the sequence, identify the sequence steps. So everything is goes beyond the screens. The SLQ's intelligence box, doing for you, and not you are like spending your time and getting it done and getting it wrong, and it works very fine. Okay, so that really helps, like a user, a normal user, or a functional user, right? They can go and then they can tweak the scripts on the fly itself, where they know like this is the business process change, let's say 10% of change, whatever they already tested, right, in another phases or another wave, and they can just take a screenshots and add their scripts and keep their scripts locally, and perform the validation on the fly. So that's the no code functionality, which is we found it's very interesting and very happening. Okay, post SLQ we got onboarded. So prior to that release version, like we were totally involved with the coding, and that really helps, right? Our resources are like much confident, they are like really happy. Okay, so they have to manage the actual through test development execution cycle, and they don't spend much more time in execution. And whenever there is a new person onboarded, right, so it's easy for us to give him a training, okay, and getting quickly in helping our customers, right, to build the scripts and perform the validation. So in all the aspects, right, from the development to the execution to the management, the no code is really helping part. So hope I answer your question. And that's, I think, the short answer, I believe.
Absolutely. So I'm just doing a quick mic test. Hold on, one issue with audio. So does anyone hear echo when I'm talking or when Uday's talking? Let me know in the chat if everything's back to normal. But here's a quick test. Do you hear an echo? Echo. All right, Uday. Next question is, how do the pre-built codeless automation assets look like? Do they cover end-to-end scenarios?
Yeah. So pre-built codeless, it's a end-to-end scenario. So when we say pre-built, what we mean is like, we know the standard process, okay, specific to a customer industry, right? Let's say take the service industry, right? How their procurement to, payments is a standard process is going to happen. We know like which comes first, which come later, right? And we know like the frequency of which, the execution is going to happen. So if you consider like complete ERP process for that particular customer, these everything, right, with specific to their dimensions, such as that particular legal entity or business unit, we try to mimic it, okay, try to keep it aligned, so that when you have similar industry customers, or not even like non-similar industry customers, just a different customers with 10 or 20% of weight into it, right, in that entire procure to pay cycle, we will be like easily, easily adapt to that change and only fill in the gap and try to, try to help here, right? So, so these pre-built scripts, when we already have our in our in yours pre-built, it's just like when customer is already there, we have to point this environment to customer's environment, offload the scripts, okay, and quickly go and tweaking the changes that customers need, which could be like 10%, 20%, and get quickly aligned, with his data, okay, with production data or whatever, the test environment data, and quickly have our validation ready, right? So, so that's the beauty of it. Like, when we keep building exponentially our library, or you can say our universe, that will really help in accelerating our delivery cycles and the execution cycle. So that gives a confidence to customer that our processes are well defined, okay, in the business process manner. Plus, most of our scripts, right, it's already there, right? We are not building from scratch, and it's going to reuse for us. We just need to like shift our data element, okay, and provide our dimensions to it. And look, right, we are seeing this sum of changes in the customizations and integration, okay, only focus there, okay, and then get our scripts, quickly built in agile fashion and validated as on when in each and every sprint, right? Because your development is agile fashion, and you need those scripts to quickly validate. So yeah, so that's how I think I try to give you answer. That we built SLQ environment and the universe for us. Okay.
Nice. Cool. So kind of like no code is an underlying application like Oracle can't have the same business flow and business rules for different customers. So are automation tools that have pre-built accelerators any good in such a case?
Yeah, of course, of course. So, like this is true for every ERP, Joe. Okay, so not even in the same industry, two customers are having the same processes, right? So different industry customers, definitely there'll be deviation. So, yeah, that's like a uniform challenge in every ERP, not only in Oracle. Okay, but that gives you, and that's where accelerated tools, okay, such as SLQ testing platform really helps, because what we are achieving here is we are not like starting from scratch, okay. And when you take a ERP, okay, for two different customers, same cloud application, okay, and cloud is like almost cloud enforce customers to do a standard or go with the standard practice. There are deviations, right? So that deviations will not be more than 50%. Okay, if you consider it will be a maximum 30 or 20, 20 to 30%. So rest like at least 70% are ready with us, right? We don't need to develop it from scratch. We don't need to like configure and get it done from scratch to that new customer, right? So when you already have 70%, you have to just like manage 30% of gap, and that can be managed easily. Okay, so that's the advantage. Like no code is the advantage there. Okay, you just like have your basic configurations ready. Take a screenshot, go blah blah, like tick 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 tick. All your steps are created, and get ready with your 30% changes. And again, like if you have integration testing, then SLQ really helps, right? You have your inbound interfaces, REST API ready. REST API is validated. Just take the scripts out of like your standard script. When you take a data from your standard import table and see whether your orders are generated, your invoices are generated, right? So I'm just like giving example in that area, the finance area. So yeah, so that's what it is, right? So uh, I think that we are just closing the gap. We're only focusing the gap, and that's how like we are is built on that platform. There's a package. We try to generalize, or I can try to generalize the package with the standard and the best practices throughout the industry. But yeah, there are deviations, and where yeah, the functional team and the partners, right, the integrated partners works together, and the asserted environments help them validate it together. So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Good answer. How
Yeah.
important do you think using no code testing platforms to empower business users is in a large organization like yours. Do you believe business users participating in testing process can be beneficial?
Yeah, of course, it is beneficial. So basically, the no-code approach and then test repository approach, okay, it really helping our QA team a lot. Okay, so at the initial stage, right, when we are in our development sprints, right, our build sprints, right. So what happens is, at that point in time, our development team and QA team are very aggressively involved. Okay, and the business users, power users are like completely involved in performing the development, performing the requirements, right? And then just validating and providing the sign off based on whatever the QA has tested. Okay? So that initial part, your QA team is more aligned. And the next part where your SIT comes in picture, UAT comes in picture. At that point in time, your business users and power users, right, comes in picture. The way SLQ has actually built their tool, and the way we try to deliver, package it or pack it into delivery, that we try to help them in execution as well. Okay, because we have a parallel agents that they can perform the execution. We just like schedule that at night and come on the next day, and you'll see all the results, right? So we try to give less uh, less accessibility to power users. But yes, power users are like they jump in at that point in time when they have to perform their part of validations. And specifically in UAT and pre-UAT stages and then SIT stages, they come up and then they keep their copies of their test scripts. They modify it, they give it back, to development and the development team or the QA team, and they help is fixing a lot of scripts, right? Specifically, like there is the patches and all the changes, right? The signature to test, after signature to this happens and all. So yeah, so their inputs are very important. Their contribution is really very vital, which we think like it comes in that at that end stage of our implementation phase. But yes, it is important, and the no-code approach really helps those users. They don't need to like code. Just take a screenshot and get those steps created. Connect with the QA team, and yeah, the script is ready. Half of done at onshore, and in US time zones, offshore time zone is like getting ready for plugging the scripts. That's all. Like, it's so easy. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, those businesses are users are ready.
Perfect. Probably have time for one last question. It is, do any of your clients have integrations with any other enterprise applications to Oracle app? And what's your take on test automation tools support for various integrations, thereby supporting really omni-channel end-to-end type of testing scenarios?
Yeah, integrations are inevitable too. Like you cannot exist without integration. So there are integrations, and yeah, and then there are type of integrations within cloud to cloud, within cloud integration, cloud to cloud integrations, cloud to on-premise integrations, and vice versa. So yeah, so that's very crucial, and that's where we have a SIT phase. That's validation phase, and it's very crucial for our business continuity plan and business continuity to run through. So that validation is very critical, and without that, we cannot like even move to the next stage. So yeah, and then the way we look at the integration is right. So SLQ has really great feature is not only on sticking to the cloud, but it has adapters which go beyond cloud, and even it go to the legacy application, try to create some short scripts. Let's say, for example, like the order creation, the triggering. Those integrations are business event trigger based, or it's a recurring, a recurring integration on a schedule basis. So you just go beyond and then initiate that trigger, which actually pulls the data into your into your interface tables, and then the input that data, right? So that's involved the end-to-end testing, the channel testing. Plus, it just like it gives it's a features of like testing the APIs, right? So they SQ has a API testing functionality. You have your data, which is like completely mimic of all your third-party integration data, right? You get it into the API fashion, load it, and get all your other stuff tested, right? As if like it is coming from your third-party application or the external source of application or legacy application. So that's the beauty of it, right? So you partially like half of your app in the system is tested. So yeah, so REST API, like API testing, REST API, and part of like your integration testing, the inbound and outbound. Yeah, the SLQ scripts are really helping, and it is actually helping in clearing one of the crucial state like system integration testing. So and that helps gives the customer confidence and help entire implementation team in the SAP team to move easily. So yeah.
All right, so I lied. I just want to get to this one question someone asked in the chat. I just noticed it. They want to know, is there any documentation for the no-code approach that you can share? I don't know if you have any documentation on it or best practices type of doc.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that SLQ as a university, there are a lot of documentation white papers already published. While working with SLQ, like from so long time, we also have our team. Drafted some white papers, and for no code approach and no code specific, this thing we have a details, right? So we can share definitely. So yeah, I can provide that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Uday, for contributing to SLQ Live. Really appreciate you. Great real world session. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you next time. Cheers.